I felt like last year they kind of came back with the same attack, and people were like, we're ready for you guys this year. And now he's gone back to the lab with the pen and the pad, and he's like, I got to get my label off. Yo, Chris Simms Unbuttoned, Connor Rogers is here. We got to teach this young pup what's going on here. I don't even think he realized I was quoting the great Jay-Z in there. He didn't even bat an eye.
Not a good look for me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm from New York.
It's all right. It's all right. You know?
It's Dr. Dre.
I mean, I don't even know why I said that. Look at me. Boom. I'm showing myself. That's awesome.
I got real. When you said it's Jay-Z, I'm like, how do I not know that?
No. I don't even know why I said that. I know it's Dr. Dre. I got lost in the moment of self. I'm an idiot.
You literally forgot about Dre.
I literally forgot about Dre. Exactly right. How could I do
that? The homies are all over
I said this. Can we start the pod over? Let's start it all over so I can sound better. No, not really. But either way, we got some homies commenting on this one.
Joshua Castro, 5664. Why do I feel like Connor didn't get Simms pen in the pad reference? The Butler art. He was probably 2 when that album came out.
That's a great response.
Kill me now. I was born in 91. So.
Yeah, no, and that was the Chronic 2. So I was in college. Yeah.
But I definitely wasn't allowed.
You were like
I definitely
10 or
wasn't
9.
allowed to have it by then.
No, I was in college.
Until I got LimeWire and downloaded it legally.
That was like, freshman year at college, somewhere right there, freshman, sophomore year. So you certainly weren't jamming the Jay-Z in the car yet with mom and dad. I don't think you were doing that.
By the way, we have some good energy around the office right now. The NBA rehearsal is going on. So the music has been bumping near the dressing room. I'm really enjoying it.
Oh, is that right? They're playing music in the dressing room?
There's a good, the energy is very high.
Wow.
Yeah, usually walk in like it's chill. I was like, oh, everybody's fired up, ready to go. Obviously, we have some superstars that are going to be on that coverage as well.
That would be
They
awesome.
reminded me of this right away.
Cool.
Listen, we got a lot. So, yes, The Chronic was released in 1999. So I think I was 7 or 8 years old.
Yep.
Yeah, didn't have it then. Rookie of the Week returns. Of course, we're previewing Week 5 with the game of what's more likely, like we have consistently done. But, Chris, before we get to any of that, another Week 4 film review, and we're back talking about the Eagles. Because the Eagles fans, they love the effort right now, Chris, from you. This one from Chrono Sonder 36. Great show. Nobody can truly say Chris Simms doesn't put in the work. Go Birds. We talked about last week what the Eagles did right in the second half.
Yeah.
This week, it feels like we have to talk about what went wrong in the second half against the Bucs, where it got to be scary hours real quick. They held on.
Yeah.
But the offense, you don't see an offense just disappear like this in the NFL very often, especially from a team that is excellent.
It's amazing. It's frustrating. It's crazy.
I just want to know the why.
Yeah.
Because I can't wrap my head around this.
I know. We're going to get into all this. And I appreciate Chrono Sonder 36 saying that, because I do have definitely I have Eagles fans that come up to me and go, man, I hated you because I heard stuff you said about Jalen Hurts, but I had friends that told me to listen to your pod and you've explained things, so now I listen to you and I think you're awesome and blah, blah, blah. I have that. And then, of course, I have majority of Eagles fans that just tell me I suck and I should quit my job and you don't know what you're talking about and all that, and they don't want to hear it. And as I say to some of them times, I go, nobody speaks more highly of the Eagles than I do. Nobody thinks more highly of the Eagles. I feel like I'm the only person in sports media last year that was like week 9, I was like, the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl. Plain and simple. They are by far the best team in the game. But within that, you know me. I mean, I'm going to keep it real and 100 in what I see. And they make you want to pull their hair out. As an ex-quarterback and as other quarterbacks in football would go, oh my gosh, could I play on the Eagles offense with all the support they have there? And yet they can't do jack diddly squat. And the year 2025, 0 yards in the second half passing in a football game, with 2 superstar receivers, a damn good tight end, and Saquon Barkley at your running back, it's almost impossible to do. That's almost impossible. So, that is insane in itself. And then within that, they score 31 points as a football team. So it just tells you how good they are. It's crazy. But, we're going to break some of this down, and I think I got some good thoughts for you as we go here.
My positive is the Eagles show you week in and week out they can win in any way possible.
That's right.
Like, they can win on their special teams. They can win with the run game. They can win with a defensive turnover. They can win throwing the ball.
Yeah.
But you're right, Chris, where you look at this and you go just, 1, how does this happen? And 2, is this a long-term issue, or was this just something where everything fell apart at once? And they struggle with the in-the-moment adjustments rather than the week-to-week adjustments.
I think that's it. That's the point. And Yeah, they can win throwing the ball, but it's too few and far between. That's the problem, and it's too all over the place. And they make games a lot closer than they need to be. And I think that's the big thing. But I think what you just said right there is really the big thing. It's like they're good figuring out how they want to attack a team throughout the week. But when they get that first few curveballs, maybe early in a game or later in the game, there's not much adjustment. There's not. There's not many avenues they go to figure out a new way to attack. There's not a lot of plays in their playbook. There's not. So because of that, yes, I think it's a little hard for them to adjust. They kind of do what they do on that side of the ball. But what a week does for them is they can figure out, wait, this team likes to play like this. We can figure out how to package some plays that make sense within our simplicity. But the problem is when they get a few curveballs, it's all of a sudden like, uh-oh. Like, we're not the type of offense, and Jalen's not the type of quarterback that's just going to get us in and out of good plays, and we don't have a variety of plays that we can get to. And a lot of that is because of the quarterback. That's just the plain and simple fact of nature here. So, yeah, wow, was this bad offense. Early on, right, the Eagles were ready for the blitz. They're playing the Buccaneers. If you play the Buccaneers and Todd Bowles, you got to be ready for that. And you don't think they know that? And also, they've struggled against the Buccaneers. Everybody talked about that last week. Why? Because Jalen Hurts has struggled against the blitz when it comes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So they had a plan to start the game. They were good at it. And one of the things they did early on was, blitzing, some short crossers and all that, but they sent all 5 eligibles out. They were like, hey, let's not even keep Saquon in. They're going to blitz anyways. Let's just get them out. And all of a sudden, it's like, wait, we blitzed 6. We only got 5 guys to cover. And, wait, we didn't think this guy was going to have to cover the back. We thought he was going to help out in the pass protection, right? We had a guy in the middle of the field for the 4 receivers because we thought Saquon was going to help out with the blocking. Oh, no, Saquon's out in the edge. We have nobody to cover him. I was just told to play the middle of the field. I was told Saquon was going to block in these situations. We weren't ready for that. So that's a little bit what happened early on. They did free releasers, and they did 6- and 7-man protections. They went, okay, you want to blitz? We'll protect. Right. We'll find a way to throw the ball with a 2- or 3-man route and work it that way. And so that was all good. But as I said on Sunday night with Devin McCourty, and what it looked like on TV to me was right? And, like you heard me say, when they blitz, they get to the shallow crossers. That's an answer. Or they're pick crossers. Or they just clear everybody out and somebody runs a shallow crosser underneath, right? That's kind of what they do. But second quarter, the Bucs were like, hey, that. We're getting crushed with the blitz. They got an answer today. They're ready for it. And they stopped doing that, and they started rushing 4 and playing coverage, and the Eagles were like,
now what?
What do we do? I don't know what to do now. And it totally changed the whole dynamic of the football game.
Listen to the defensive coverage schemes in the second half from the Bucs.
Yeah, I would love to hear
it's the most basic as ever. You talked about in the first half how they were more aggressive. They blitz, especially in the first quarter. I saw they ran a lot of cover 1 and cover 0.
Okay.
Second half, the Bucs ran cover 0 once. I think that was their only blitz. They never ran cover 1 in the second half ever. They ran either cover 3 or cover 4 74% of the time.
So it looked like.
I mean, running cover 3 at that rate in today's NFL is almost unheard of because most teams can kind of just pick it apart, be patient with it.
Right.
Todd Bowles totally put the brakes on the blitz and said, we're just going to sit and play coverage at the purest, most basic football form.
And in the second quarter, that when they started to dive in, they were still running crossers, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, shit, wait, nobody's
running into the coverage.
You're running into the coverage. There's people waiting for you. Nobody's following you anymore. That doesn't work. So, there's those answers. That was a total curveball for them. And they're not the type of offense, as we all know, that's like a surgical offense. When they are at their best, it is you allow them to go one-on-one shots. Like we saw in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs, like we saw against Washington in the NFC Championship game, who plays man-to-man a ton, right? Or last week against the Rams in the second half, when it became basically man-to-man on the outside. That's kind of their success when it comes to the passing game. When teams have been able to play zones and intricate zones and do that type of stuff, right? That is when they are not impressive. And that's when they are not capable of being surgical. And the system's not there, and the quarterback's not there to do that. So with all that leads to really underwhelming play and stale moments where you just go, I can't believe they're this good, and they throw the ball this shitty on that side of the ball. It's shocking. So that's the big thing. All right, so here, second quarter, Bucs play more coverage, nothing there. Right, a few times. Hurts bought some times, and he found some completions. Okay, that was the second quarter, and the other problem was the Bucs didn't stay in their rush lanes a few times in the second quarter. So that led to some drives by the Eagles, even though the passing game wasn't functioning at a high level. Right. Second half, that's changed a little bit. They did slow down. They did more of blitz one, drop one, stuff like that, and they did close down the running lanes for Jalen Hurts to a degree. All right, you're going to see I wrote next in my notes, I feel bad for A.J. Brown. He's given no chance. There's no plays given to him. People look at it and go, oh, well, he had all these targets. His targets were bullshit. They're bullshit. He caught a slant. He caught a screen 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. He got crushed as soon as he caught it. All the other plays were just, hey, I'm going to throw it up. I hope you can catch it for me. Hey, I'm going to throw it up again. And when he threw it up, Jalen Hurts, he didn't even give him a chance to catch it. So there is the offense for one of the more talented receivers in football. We don't really do anything to help him, like we've talked about in other podcasts with Puka Nacua or Justin Jefferson move him around. Release. They do nothing for him. Nothing. He becomes actually the de facto, wait, I don't know what to do. Let me just throw it to you guy. And so I understand why he's frustrated there. Now, it doesn't mean he should go to Twitter and say some of the things he said, but either way, the fact that they can't get him the ball, design some plays, and throw him the ball on the regular is absolutely freaking crazy. And that is not only on Jalen Hurts, that's on the Eagles' offensive coaches to go along with that.
It's wild when you look at his receiving depth chart this year. So they've played 4 games.
Right.
He has 10 targets beyond 9 yards.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He has 10, and he's caught 4 of them. But they're like 10 to 19 yards, he has 4 targets. You would think he's one of the best intermediate to deep receivers in the game. He doesn't get any chances.
No, he does not get any chances. That's not a strength of, again, like we were talking about when teams play zone and stuff like that. Hurts is not the kind of guy that threads the needle, throws the ball into a window for a deep in cut or a deep cross. He throws those kind of routes when it's man-to-man, and those guys beat the people so bad, and there's really not much to read, and he just goes, wait, AJ's beating that guy, now I can throw to him. Or AJ, right, is on the outside, and he ran a curl route like he did last week against the Rams, but they're so afraid he's just going to run by them that they back off, and we throw a curl route, and then he breaks the tackles, and he goes and does that way, right? So that's where it's crazy. I mean, yeah, the second half, all coverage, like you talked about, you explained it perfectly for me. And the 4-man rushes, the blitz one, the drop one, right? And then we're still in the second half, and they're still calling the blitz type of plays there. So, yeah, lack of adjustment by the players, and they don't do much at the line of scrimmage as far as changing plays.
That's what I wanted to ask.
Right.
Do they go, when they go up there, do they do less than the average in terms of smoking something out or seeing something out and changing the play?
Yes.
That's kind of shocking for a veteran quarterback.
Yes, I know.
With all that talent.
I know. And that's where, he's not on the level of people like Lamar or Mahomes or Josh Allen or even Jaden Daniels and some of those guys that do stuff at the line of scrimmage. Listen, this offense, what they have with Nick Sirianni, I've seen Nick Sirianni be an offensive coordinator. He has more plays than this, guys. This is not – he's there. So you guys make the conclusion, right, what it is. Anybody in football that's been around the Eagles or knows anything about the Eagles would tell you that the quarterback there does not want to do anything. He wants the offense simple. That's the way it is. He wants it like that. I've had everybody tell me that. People in the Eagles organization, people that used to work in the Eagles organization that are somewhere else now, or people that are in other teams in the NFL who know somebody in the Eagles organization, and they tell me that too. So that's the plain and simple matter. The fact of the matter is, they're not crazy creative on offense. They're not. And you certainly can get on the offensive coaches to come up with some better game plans too. But the quarterback is also part of that. He's also part of that conversation and limiting them with what they want to do in the game plan, and then not being a guy that is doing a lot at the line of scrimmage compared to the other high top offenses in football. And that is what's holding them back ultimately. And that's why Chrono Saunders 36, I will have more Eagles hate on my social media tonight, because I try to tell you the reasons and people just don't want to hear it. Or there's a group of people, especially Eagles fans, that don't want to hear that truth right there. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to ever hide from the truth that way.
The Eagles somehow are 4-0 despite being outgained in all 4 games.
It's crazy.
They are the second team over the past 90 years to do that. The only other team was the 2012 Cardinals. That was Ken Wisenhunt's last year.
Right.
They went 5-11. So I think it's kind of a glass half full, glass half empty situation. It starts with what I open with. The glass half full is it's mind-blowing the way the Eagles can win.
Exactly.
And it speaks to how great of a team they are.
Exactly right.
It really does.
Right.
The glass half empty is, does it ever catch up to you at the worst time?
That's the problem.
Where, like, they steamroll most people they play this year,
Right.
but then you get to the divisional round or the NFC Championship,
That's-
and you're like, shit, we talked about that after week 4.
Especially if the run game doesn't get going too, right? So they've been able to get away with this last year in a Super Bowl because they were setting records as a running team. So that was okay. But the run game also lacks some of the stuff we've talked about. They don't do much as far as schematically, and I don't think they like check into certain runs. They're like, hey, we're going to run this, but wait, they're playing this defense. Let's check to the other run. That makes sense to the other side because they've loaded this side. So there's a little of that missing. And that's the big question. They're going to get away with it against a lot of teams in football. The point, and this is McCourty brought this point up, I think even on Football Night in America on Sunday, is it sustainable? Are you going to beat the best teams in the league that way? And I don't know about that. That's what we're going to see. Can they beat Detroit that way?
So November, we get our answer.
Right.
They go to Green Bay. November 10th, they play at home against Detroit. November 16th.
Right. So we'll get
That's
to
a good
see.
measuring
We'll
stick
have a
for
little
them.
more inkling there. Right. That's when we'll start to get a feel for it. Yeah. I mean, this might be a week. Maybe this is a week it starts to become hard. We know the Broncos and what they do. The Broncos are good on defense. The Broncos offense, it's going to have good ideas on how to attack Philly's defense. So it's not like it's going to be, we can just dominate with our defense and special teams and win this one. This is a game I look at to be like, no, there better be some completeness here or you're going to lose, right? Tampa Bay, if they were full strength, if they don't, Bucky Irvin doesn't fumble the ball, if they don't have a punt blocked, right, you sit there and go, no, the Buccaneers can every bit have been the team that maybe tested them and exposed it a little bit, and it did still in the second half. We're talking about it here, right? But, yeah, I don't know if they can get away with it against the upper echelons
there it is.
of the NFL.
Shout out to the upper echelons. This is a good time to have a spin-off conversation just about in-game adjustments.
Yeah.
Because I think it's something that it's very hard for a fan to understand in that moment how much you can really do, Chris.
Right.
I want to start with the in-between drives. We see on the sideline all the shots are looking at a tablet or talking to a coach or phoning even up to the booth or anything like that. How much in that moment can you really do?
You can do a lot. You can
Really?
do a lot. Well, you're stuck a little bit when you're a team like Philadelphia where you go, wait, we don't really have that many pass plays in the game plan anyways, right? But I've been a part of, let's say, a Josh McDaniels offense or a John Gruden offense, and it goes, no, we went into the game with 200 pass plays in the game. And, right, we didn't maybe practice every one of those 200 leading up into the week of practice. We might have practiced the 80 most important ones that we felt were going to make sense for the game. But when it came to get the play sheet on Friday afternoon, the big play sheet you see the coach, the play caller have on the sideline like that, we'd get that. And it would have a whole bunch of other plays that we knew we had to study that maybe we didn't get to practice. We studied them on Wednesday. We studied them on Thursday. They were in the game plan. We might not have got to practice all of them, but now here they are, and we got to be ready for them. And those plays that we didn't get to practice during that, we practiced them a ton in training camp and other weeks too. So it's not like you're just getting plays that you haven't had, right?
Right.
So within that too, because this is a great conversation. All right, I'm on John Gruden and the Bucs. We're playing a team that plays Tampa 2. And, we're expecting Tampa 2 and cover 4. All right, starts the game out as Tampa 2. It's cover 4. Hey, we're getting what we expect. Oh, we had a little success, blah, blah, blah. Next drive, oh, no. Things changed a little bit. They caught us off guard. Oh, shit. All right, we're going to punt this drive. We come off the sideline right away. It's like, damn, they did some different things here. Gruden be like, hey, man, hey, they did a little different. I might package, this play that we like against Tampa 2 with this blitz play too, just in case. So I might call that in the huddle so you have both plays. And then, if you start to see this safety creep down, I want you to get to that blitz play, all right? So we might change how we package things right off the bat, okay? Then there's just that. Just during the game. So now the next drive, you go out there and you go, okay, Gruden's going to call the play for the Tampa 2 like we want, but he's going to go, hey, and can it with 358 Lexus if you get the blitz, or right? 58 Lexus. All right, okay, cool. So now, blue 45 set hut. Wait, the blitz is coming. Forget that to cover 2 play. Kill. And we have another little package to get to. I'm checking to my different play. Now we get into halftime. It goes to another level. All right, if we start to see, whoa, they're going to blitz us and play us totally different, we get in halftime, Gruden or Josh McDaniels, hey, this game is no longer a cover 2, Tampa 2, or cover 4 game. This game is, we're now, it's a blitz and man-to-man game. This is what we're getting, and we're going to start dialing up those plays, and I'm going to start packaging plays together like that, okay? And that's where the type of adjustments are, right? Let alone like, hey, they're putting this guy on Joey Galloway, and this is a matchup problem. Hey, if we put him in the slot over here, we're going to be able to adjust to these type of plays and really put them in a problem if they want to blitz and play man-to-man all the time. So that's what happens with really good, high-functioning offenses that have a lot at their disposal as far as the playbook and the Rolodex of plays. And in Philadelphia, they don't have that. They don't have that, and that's an issue for them.
It just feels like it's more being static versus what you're saying of constant movement. Who do you think are the top few coaches in the league that can like totally change their outfit in the second half, where you come out and you're like, oh wow, that was nothing like the first? Like, who's the best on the fly?
I feel like McVay is one of the ones right off the bat. McVay is like, you'll be like, man, 3 drives, they haven't been able to do shit. They've seen the 3 drives now. They've looked at the tablet. They've written down each coverage so they know.
Right.
And they go, they're playing like this. And all of a sudden, the next drive, you're like, boom, Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, Kyron Williams up the middle for 20. Boom. Because now they've gone like, hey, we're going to start packaging things different. Matt, you know what we're going to do. We're going to get to a double ring right 2-jet bullseye, and I want to now package it with 72 all-go special, and that's going to give them problems for how they're playing us right now, right? And that's what they can dive into. And hey, Stafford, if I don't get one of those plays there, you got to help me, and you might, if they bring out that blitz we talked about, you might have to change the protection altogether and just change the play, right? That's what a high-functioning offense does. So, yeah, I feel like he's probably number 1 in that department. I think Josh McDaniel is really good at it, too. If you watch them, they will, after a drive or two, go, oh, no, they're playing us a different way, and dive it. Shane Steichen is incredible. I think he would be another one I would look at right off the bat there. Shanahan's pretty good, too. He's up there. He does it a little different way with the run game and the play action and all that. So I would throw him up in that group. But I think those are and Ben Johnson. He might not be quite there yet with this team, but what we saw in Detroit, they always had the right answers, with a drive or two of figuring it out.
So your comms to your play caller cuts out at 20?
Yeah, 15, I think. 15? Yeah, right.
So do you, typically, would you personally like to be up at the line by 12 to 15 seconds?
Definitely.
To kind of see, because you had everything in your comms, but like you said, the really good coaches kind of give you 2 options at the line of scrimmage. That gives you enough time to check into the second option.
Exactly right. If you want to do that and you want to be a creative and on the attack, you'd love to be at the line of scrimmage with about 20 seconds left. Because now, hey, bring that motion. I can see everything. I gave the dummy snap count. I got a clue on what I'm about to get here. And just in case, okay, I got to check to the play like that. But to what I told about too, where Gruden would give me 2 plays and be like, hey, don't forget about blah, 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 right? Just in case it was like, hey, if they do that one defense they do every now and then, you want that time to go, oh, no, there's only 3 seconds. They're doing the crazy defense. I got to change everything. You're not going to be able to do it, right? So that extra time is huge. And in my era, when you huddled and broke the huddle, that got cut off automatically.
Oh, okay.
Right? Where they have found a way to skirt the rules a little bit is don't huddle, so I can stand there and talk to you. And now I have all this time. We're kind of lining up, and I'm watching them line up, and I'm telling you the play, and I'm also alerting you, hey, wait, they might do something here. Look at the safeties and what they're doing here. Right? That was a little different. Well, I got on the Rams and Jared Goff for a little bit doing that.
I was just going to say, that was the notorious one.
Right.
Is that
but it was
Goff's
good.
Super Bowl year.
Yes.
They would get up to the line earlier than anyone.
I thought that was BS. The NFL let that happen. Right? If I would want to do it too if I was the quarterback. The Rams took it as like I was attacking them for that when I said that back then. I was like, no. I'm just saying I think it's a little against the spirit of the rules of the NFL, and I'm shocked the NFL is letting you do that. If I was playing quarterback or I was the coach, I would definitely do that too. That makes total sense.
Use every loophole you can.
Exactly right. 100%. Right.
We're going to take our first break. When we're back, Rookies of the Week. Yeah, we went into the deep dive names last week, but I don't think anyone's going to be surprised by the 2 standouts from week 4. This Saturday on NBC and Peacock, we got Boise State at number 21, Notre Dame. That Fighting Irish offense is rolling right now. That kicks off at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And then we're not done there. We're going to be working all day, Chris. Minnesota at number 1, Ohio State, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll have you covered on NBC and Peacock for all of the pregame around the number 1 team in the nation.
Yeah, and to me, they're the number 1 team in the nation. Last week
with pen and ink for me.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're one of the few teams at the top where you go, they've had multiple tests on the road at Washington, Texas at home. They won those games. Yeah, it wasn't easy, but those are good football teams, and they're talented. Period. There's a toughness and a belief, I think, that I saw in Ohio State that when I was there a few weeks ago that jumps out to me. And you said it about Notre Dame, man. Notre Dame. They went to the national championship last year. They would have won the national championship if they had this offense and this guy throwing the ball.
It's
a
lot of fun
it's amazing. Right now. It's a great offense. It really is.
2 NFL running backs.
Yes.
2.
Not
just Jeremiah Love.
It looks like there's 2 NFL receivers there too.
They're loaded.
They are loaded,
and their line's a little banged up right now. If they came into the season full strength, I mean, I'm not going to take away anything from A&M.
Yeah,
and Notre Dame needed to win one of those 2 games they lost, but.
Right.
It's not because of the offense.
No, it's definitely not because of the offense. The defense is the issue there at Notre Dame.
So Boise State will have a tough challenge on the road. Speaking of Boise State, Rookie of the Week, and it's about damn time,
yes,
Chris.
Sir.
We've been waiting for Ashton Jeanty to have a week like this. 138 rushing yards. He had the big run that really beefed up these numbers, which you expect that from Ashton Jeanty. Like, you should be hitting the big runs. 1 rushing touchdown, 17 receiving yards. He caught 2 receiving touchdowns. I think what stood out to me, Chris, is the Raiders just need to keep getting him going in the pass game.
I think so.
I don't know why they've been cute with maybe pass protection, but to lobby the Georgia running back, Zamir White.
Yeah, Zamir White.
You just kind of got to get Ashton Jeanty out there for as many snaps as you can.
I would agree with that. I mean, feed him the ball. The one thing, I think the thing that, and to your point and what you're saying and why we saw, there was space for him in this game.
Yes.
It was the first time he could get to the second level and not already have somebody on him, or like he just broke a tackle and now he's trying to get going or restart that way. And, okay, it's too late at that point. I mean, this game, he had some holes to where he could not only, he could see a hole and also see how somebody was coming to tackle him to avoid him and make a move and make that guy miss. I mean, he's still special in space that way as far as making people miss, right? That's the big thing there. Now, he played a defense that I'd go, I don't know how good their front 7 is there in Chicago. It might be the weak link of their football team, really. Right, their front, their linebackers, all of that. I mean, it doesn't pop to me. But at the same time, they opened up some holes. He ran with, I thought, a little more authority and confidence to the hole and hit it instead of sometimes dancing and going, wait, I want a bigger hole. And it's like, no, this is the NFL. Sometimes it's like the hole's only 8 inches and you just got to put your head down and smash it in there and get 3 or 4 yards. And I think he's learning all of that as we go.
Did you buy into that he got his old stance back?
It
was funny to me.
It is funny, and I do like watching him like that.
I hate when, and I get it, like what Chip Kelly was trying to do, but I don't like tinkering with great players.
I don't.
Not as rookies. Like, if you're a pro and you're established and there's a little thing mechanically, it's like they're probably comfortable enough to try a switch. I don't like throwing a guy into the NFL and say, do this, when he's been so great. In something so, and to me, it's minuscule.
That's the point. Like, who gives a shit? What do you like? What? Like, what was really affecting him?
I'd love to know.
Like this, and in the other position where he was down and crouched down a little bit. I don't get it either. I don't. They should just let it be. Again, you want to tweak things about his game, sure, do that. But we don't need to reinvent Aaron Rodgers throwing the football in year 3. It's like, he knows how to throw it. Let's not tinker with it too much. Let's not do that, right? I mean, I think that's what we're talking about here. Here's some other things too. His ability to see a hole or a seam and just explode through it and split defenders, that's not elite. That's one thing I go, it's not. That's the thing that I think is why I'm not wowed by him all the way, right? And he's got the good contact talent, but the explosiveness to pull away from the contact after at times, right? and I had just watched Omarion Hampton and a few other films, to me is not up with the top guys. There's a reason that when we had the top running back conversation and the things we talked about yesterday, I know we're not putting Ashton Jeanty there yet, and he hasn't been a part of that, but I don't think he's popped to our eyes that way, at least not to me yet.
No, I think
and
that's
I think
fair.
those are some of the things that, again, thought he was all worthy of a top 10 pick. I did. But I think those are the things that are concerning me here through 4 weeks a little. Even though this was good, I still look at it and go, ooh, I just don't know how awesome it is. And then, of course, you couple that with the size, where you just go, wait, a lot of these tackles he broke in college. And this is where it's different in the NFL. Because, yeah, okay, you played against a lot of linebackers in college football or people at the second level that are not NFL football players. And you're seeing now when those guys hit you, yeah, we don't get the same amount of guys falling off them and people bouncing off them and him bouncing off them the same way. It's like, no, yeah, you lowered a blow, sure, but you went down. Like the guy brought you down. And where I think in like the old days in college, we would have gone, oh, no, he delivered a blow to that guy. That guy looks silly. And now he's running up the sidelines and he's about to make somebody else look silly. And that doesn't happen nearly as much right now.
Yeah, and I think the body blows, you watch a guy like Quinshon Judkins, I've seen him lower his pads and destroy people.
Exactly
and he's
right.
getting nothing to work with running into loaded
exactly
boxes.
right.
And that's a size difference.
Exactly
I've
right.
sat next to both of them.
Right.
And Jeanty is in some of the most unbelievable, like 20 pounds of muscle and a 10-pound sack kind of shape.
right.
But Judkins, you sit next to him and you go, his legs are the size of an edge rusher.
Yes, right. Edge of his size of an edge rusher, and I feel like Judkins, and to what we talked about with Bijan Robinson yesterday, we heard like Raheem Morris talk about getting vertical. Their ability to go to 0 to 60 in that 5 to 10 yard span and go that to me is where I'd still like to see more from Jeanty in that department. You know, even on his long TD run. All right, just for some context for everybody. Kevin Byard ran him down. Kevin Byard, by no stretch of the imagination, is considered a fast safety in the NFL anymore. I mean, what is this, year 10 for Kevin Byard?
It's like he's been around a long
Now,
time.
he broke the tackle to score, right? But the point is that Kevin Byard still ran him down, and he just ran through a hole. It wasn't like he made 25 moves and then restarted. It was like, no, the hole and the play fell just right for him. And he got to go afterburners, and the guy still caught him. So, again, it's good. Don't get me wrong. He finally got some blocking. That's what we can say for sure. And he's got talent. But am I blown away? I'm going to say no right now.
Yep.
I'm not, no. And not as explosive as the top guys in the NFL. You know, you sit there and you watch Mostert get the ball a few times, and you go, ooh, Mostert is more explosive to the hole than Ashton Jeanty. And so we'll see where it goes. The big thing, though, I think more than anything is it's just the not the same amount of broken tackles at the second level as we saw at college football where he was so special.
Per Next Gen Stats from Week 4, 140 of his rushing yards did come after contact, the second most by any player in a game this season.
That's great to hear.
That is a big positive. He gained 47 more yards than expected. For comparison, Omarion Hampton gained 96 rushing yards over expected against the Giants.
Yeah.
I think that's a good number for both of them. It just goes to show you Hampton.
He's a bigger guy again.
He's a bigger guy.
And Ashton got room to at least this game to start and get the engine
Which
going
helped him
to
a
where
lot.
he get to hit, and now I got momentum going, and now I can break the tackle.
Well, listen to this, Chris, to that point. 11 carries outside the tackles, 133 yards and a touchdown.
Right.
10 carries inside the tackles, 5 yards.
Yeah, that's going to be the question going forward.
So do teams start to kind of cheat that outside run game a little bit?
Question.
We'll see. Our next Rookie of the Week, I don't think there's a lot of holes to poke in this one.
Not.
I watched this game this morning on tape. Abdul Carter for the Giants against the Chargers had 5 quarterback hits. He had 8 total quarterback pressures. The Giants pressured Justin Herbert on 47.7% of dropbacks, despite Herbert averaging a 2.63 second time to throw. My goodness, Chris. What blew my mind with this was I saw him win in almost every way possible.
Yeah, no question about it. I wrote a note here, and you'll see it, right? Just go ahead. Let's read it right off the bat.
Let's see if number 51, Carter. Want to see him win on the outside, one-on-ones more. If he doesn't win with speed, can he win more?
More, yeah. Can he? I don't know why I wrote that. Can he win different ways is probably what I meant to say there. And then I wrote, as I write this, he wins with a spin move, right?
Yeah.
Right?
So he doesn't win with speed to power. Let me correct myself on that.
That's all. But
I wrote down spin, arm over,
Right.
Twitch to get the inside move.
Exactly right.
And
Exactly right.
Good God, the stunts.
Exactly right. Right. So speed to power, certainly. And I think he could access some of those other moves more. That's all I really meant by it. I mean, we know we can win with speed. And the stunts are mind-blowing. And there's a real skill to this a little bit. This is where his physical explosiveness, I mean, first off, he pops off the screen with his first step. It's as good as anybody in the league. But when he does stunt, and what I mean is whoever's inside the D tackle, they kind of run at the offensive tackle, and then he comes off the butt of that guy and loops inside. His ability to come off that and be so fast and explosive that the guard who's blocking that inside pass rusher now has to go, wait, no, tackle, you take him and I'll take Abdul Carter. It happens so fast they can't even react. And it's all of a sudden he's just there on Justin Herbert. That's what's to me is amazing about him, right? He's got it all. And do we know it felt like he lined up more outside in this football game, right?
Yeah. So he lined up actually a very weird snap count. He lined up actually at inside linebacker 4 times.
Okay, right.
And then he lined up at right outside linebacker 13 times.
Right.
Left outside linebacker 10 times.
Right.
He was kind of the right end.
Yeah.
I believe that's what hand in the dirt 12 times.
Right.
And then the left end 7 times.
Okay.
And then he played defensive tackle once.
Okay.
But I remember he was standing up when he played defensive tackle because that was one of his wins.
Yeah.
I think he used an arm over on the center.
Yeah, he might have the center. I think he beat the center. That was his
your
first
point was
time.
he played more outside linebacker?
Well, just outside and hand on the ground DN.
You're absolutely correct.
Because the last few weeks, the things I've
Almost
complained
20
about,
times.
and Pete Dimolitis has heard me, is I just go, I would put Kayvon Thibodeau on third down inside, because he's kind of a bigger human being, and put Abdul Carter on the outside. That's what I was like, wait, he's the most scary guy on the edge. Let's put him out there. That, to me, was one of the best adjustments, right? And like I said, his ability to bend, his speed, his ability, like you said, to give you the juke and then win inside is really good. I want him to see, yes, more speed to power. I want to see him access the spin moves a little bit more. All I was trying to say with what I wrote inside my notebook there was, don't just try to win with speed all the time.
Yeah.
That was all I was really trying to say. And the fact that they did that and moved him outside, I think was a big difference in the football game. And this was by far the best game the Giants D-line played this year. I mean, they were all over Justin Herbert, disruptive as hell. Kayvon Thibodeau, I think, is having the best year of his career so far as a Giant. That's what it feels like to me. It's quiet, but he's disruptive, right? I don't see a lot of negative plays. I see a lot of positives and effing the plays up. And we know, of course, Sexy Dexy's the man, and Brian Burns is the man too. But yeah, I was blown away by the way the front looked, and of course Abdul Carter.
I had a thought when watching this game. I feel like the Chargers probably went back this week and said, damn, on some of those 3rd and 5s when they line up that way, they probably should have just ran right at them. And trusted them on 4th and 1.
Yeah.
And it's peak hindsight Monday morning quarterbacking from me. I'm not sitting here watching this game.
I don't think that's a crazy thought. I think that is something teams will probably look at and go, wait, on the left side against our big offensive line on 3rd and 4.
I mean, look how they're lined
up. It's Kayvon Thibodeau
and standing.
And right, it's Kayvon Thibodeau and Abdul Carter. We should be able to run. Somebody's going to access that for sure.
Well, the Jets did it to them in the preseason.
Right.
Against the starters. And there was something where, because they don't trust their quarterbacks to throw. They don't trust Fields to throw, but they would run right at them. And I was like, I wonder if teams do that because the Giants are so freakishly talented with edge rushers that they want them all on the field.
Right.
But I think that's the only way you counter it. And it's not always going to work.
No.
You're going to find yourself oh, shit, we're in 4th and 2 now. But it's better than Herbert had no chance.
No, I would attack it. I think you're going to see teams run at this front all together even more, even in second and passing situations, right? Yeah. 2nd and long. One, they're extremely creative with their front. That's the one thing I do like about the Giants that way. How they move people around, all the different looks they give you on that side of the ball are really good. But I also think why we saw some of those runs and be gashed by Omari and Hampton a little bit is because they're creative up front. And when you do stuff like that sometimes, you can get a lot of negative plays and pressure on the quarterback and maybe the play up and get in the backfield, but there is going to be a play every now and then where it's like, they called the right play, and we got everybody here trying to do crazy stuff, and somebody got blocked on this play, and now there's nobody at the second level, and he got through, and it's like, it's going to be a 20-yard gain at least here, and that's kind of the risk-reward of how they play on that end. They also played pretty good coverage in this football game.
Drew Phillips had a big bounce back.
He really did.
After a bad week.
And they got to – the Chargers, too many snaps of Keenan Allen, I thought, on the outside, where I go, that's just going to embolden teams to play man-to-man because nobody's scared about Keenan Allen on the outside winning a one-on-one, right? I felt like the Giants were more bold altogether playing a little man-to-man, like acting like we're not that afraid of Quentin Johnson and Ladd McConkey and Keenan Allen totally separating from us. They had a good game plan, and they played with a lot of emotion, and I think a lot of that was because, of course, the quarterback being in the lineup as well there at MetLife Stadium.
The Giants get their first win of the season. They're going to look to build off of that as they go to New Orleans this week. We are going to preview Week 5 with the game of what's more likely right after this. Our Week 5 preview, what's more likely? And Chris, we got a great Thursday night football matchup. The 3-1 49ers, who are kind of limping into this game.
Definitely.
Going to the Rams, who are also 3-1. Christian McCaffrey has over 140 scrimmage yards or under 100. What's more likely?
Oof.
We don't have, as we record this, to be fair to you, Chris,
yeah.
we don't know where Ricky Pearsall stands going into this game. Jawan Jennings has been playing hurt,
I know,
feels
yes,
like.
Right. I mean, I
short
don't
week.
know,
Brock Purdy?
Right. We don't know if we're going to have Brock Purdy either. It might be Mac Jones. I mean, I know Lynch yesterday made a comment like, yeah, Purdy's questionable for sure. Like, it's a questionable tag right now.
Sounds like the toe is bothering him again.
Yeah, well, it's one of those.
I don't think that's going to go away.
Exactly. You get tackled one wrong way on your foot. I don't care. I mean, if it's not totally gone, it's going to get re-aggravated all year long. It's a tricky injury, right? It really is. I'm going to go with over 140 here.
They kind of need it from him.
I'm just because I think he's the only guy. And, yeah, a lot of it's going to be in the passing game. It is. Shanahan's, magical at figuring that out. I know I've had a lot of people go, well, why aren't they running the ball as well? And I go, well, one, the offensive line isn't dominating people up front. And two, teams are like, we're not that scared of your receivers, so we feel like we can load the box a little bit. We're not, you're not that scary. I know you're going to make a few plays and do stuff like that, but it's not like, oh no, if Ricky Pearsall catches the slant on us, he's going to go for 70. That's not what he is and what he's going to do. He's damn good, don't get me wrong, but you know what I'm trying to say with that. But yeah, for this game here and Shanahan, and I think they'll just get him a million different touches. I'm going to say he goes over 140, but it's going to be like tough sledding for sure. They're going to force feed him the ball, I'm expecting.
So he has 100-plus scrimmage yards in all 4 games of this season, but his 3.3 yards per carry is the lowest of his career. The Rams defense held Jonathan Taylor under 100 scrimmage yards last week.
Yep.
They held Saquon Barkley to 55 the week prior. So, but I'm with you. Like it's a matter of volume.
This is a different team, and it's a team that is truly going to focus on just getting him the ball. The Colts will be like, oh wait, you're taking away Jonathan Taylor? Fine, Tyler Warren, Michael Pittman Jr. There goes Adonai Mitchell if he doesn't drop the ball going into the end zone. This game's different, right? So they had other options. They didn't. We talked about the Eagles' offense. They're not very good at getting people the ball in certain situations.
Right.
Just ask AJ
Their best
Brown.
players.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly right.
Our next one, the Texans 1-3 at Baltimore, who's 1-3. If you had on the bingo card that through 4 weeks these teams would be a combined 2-6.
Holy shit.
You have a crystal ball. CJ Stroud has 1 or fewer passing touchdowns or 2+ passing touchdowns. I'll give you some context here, Chris.
Yeah.
Stroud had 2 passing touchdowns last week against the Titans. That was his first multi-touchdown game since Week 16 of last year. But something has to give. Baltimore has allowed 9 passing touchdowns this season. That's the 3rd most in the NFL.
I feel like if you're going to make me choose one of these two here, I'm going to go with the 2+ TD passes here.
Is that more of an indictment on Baltimore or that the Texans got going last weekend?
I think it's more of an indictment on Baltimore. I mean, I think the Texans got going a little bit, and they can get some confidence there. I mean, it still was tough sledding for a big part of that football game there. But, yeah, I'm going to play that angle. Christian Kirk being back, I think, does help them out here. right? And I'm going to take last week's game as, yes, a step in the right direction, let alone the Ravens being no Marlon Humphrey, still a bad pass rush, no Roquan Smith, and all of that C.J. Stroud and them can get at least 2 touchdown passes in the game.
Our next one, the Broncos, who are now 2-2. They're at Philadelphia, who's 4-0. What's more likely, Jalen Hurts has more passing yards than Bo Nix, or Bo Nix has more rushing yards than Jalen Hurts?
I will definitely go with number 2 there, as Nix has more rush yards than Hurts. Now, I'm not sure I expect that to happen, but I think I think that Denver will be able to throw the ball on Philly a little bit. I do. I expect it. I'm not sitting here. I know Denver ran the ball good on Monday night. I'm not sure that's going to work the same way this week. It was a step in the right direction, but we still know how damn good they are in Philadelphia up front and being physical there. I can see Bo Nix throwing the ball and having some good numbers. I'm worried about Jalen Hurts and the Eagles' passing game against this defense and what they do and the corners and everything they have here. So, even though I don't love Nix rushing for more than Hurts, out of those options, I'm going to take it. Yeah, and Nix, of course, is dangerous running the ball. We know that.
The battle of the 3-1s in the NFC. The Bucs, 3-1, are on the road to Seattle, who's also 3-1. What's more likely, Baker has no interceptions or 2+ interceptions. Baker threw his first interception of this last week against the Eagles.
Yep.
Seattle has 7 interceptions already on the season. That is tied for 3rd most in the NFL.
I'm going to go with the 2+ interceptions.
Interesting.
Here. I am. I'm going to ride this a little bit. I'm going to play that Seattle makes them pass happy. I'm going to play that with the injuries on their offensive line a little bit. They can't dominate in the run game like they want. I like Seattle's defense. I think their front's good. Their secondary is arguably as good as it gets in football. And then playing up in Seattle is just it's worth 1 turnover almost in a game. I mean, it really is. When their D is good and you play up there and it's loud, it's insane. I mean, it's insane. It's definitely one of the hardest places to play, and it just makes it feel harder when they have a Legion of Boom type defense or something like they got right now. I'm going to play that the Buccaneers get pass happy and he throws 2 interceptions in this one.
I think Mike McDonald has perfectly embraced on how he needs to build this team.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect fit with the organization.
Exactly right. I think they got the personnel that's starting to make sense for his team. He's got the offense going, wait, I like this. We're going to run the ball with Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet, and Sam Darnold is going to run play-action passes, and we're going to gash you that way. And then our defense is going to be exotic and do all this different shit and cause chaos. And, yeah, I'm with you. I like what they're doing, too.
I think he's the least talked about successful NFL head coach
You're probably right about that.
I never hear a word about the guy.
And he doesn't care.
No,
he doesn't. He's an ex-baseball player. So he's got a little bit of that, like, I'm
different mentality.
I'm going to put my cap down and hold my head down and just keep working. And I feel like, that's kind of what he is there that way.
Sunday Night Football here at NBC. The 2-2 Patriots at Buffalo. The Bills are 4-0. If New England wants to make this a division race, it has to start on Sunday night. What's more likely? The Bills have 150+ rushing yards or under 100 rushing yards. Chris, New England's only allowing 77.5 rushing yards a game. That's tied for the second fewest in the NFL, but the Bills lead the NFL in rushing yards a game. That's 163.5.
They're good at running the ball, the Bills, and they have a quarterback that adds to the rushing stats too, right? Which is always a dangerous combination. I think this is going to be the Bills dicing them up in the pass game all night long. I'm going to say that the Patriots do take away the run game, and I'm going to say that it's under 100. I think what we've seen so far this year from Josh Allen is not a huge statistical games, right? Where I always tell people with Josh Allen, I say, just watch the game. Every big moment or big throw, he makes the big play. They kind of just manage the game, do some certain things, and then they're aggressive when they need to, and he makes it happen at the most opportune, most important spots. And you can't put value on that. That's why the stats don't always show how awesome Josh Allen is that way. But I think with Vrabel and company and that, that Patriots D line's big and it's got some versatility. I think they stop the run and they make Josh Allen throw the ball, and I think this is the week they put up big numbers.
My take with the Bills is if you let them run the ball, you're automatically dead.
You're in deep shit.
You're dead.
Yes.
If you make them one-dimensional with Josh Allen, you're probably dead.
Right.
But I'd take the probably over the definite.
I think I would take that approach too.
Yeah,
if you run if they run on you, it just feels like it's only a matter of time before everything starts clicking.
That's exactly it.
Right? Where it's like, hey, if you could stop the run, yeah, you can get him maybe to make a questionable decision every now and then. He might scramble, do whatever else. And their receivers are good, but they're not scary, right?
Right.
And I think that's the approach I would take too. I'm with you
Make
there.
those guys make a play.
Exactly right.
Monday Night Football, the 2-2 Chiefs at the 3-1 Jacksonville Jaguars. What's more likely? A running back leads the Chiefs in rushing, or a quarterback/wide receiver does. Listen to this, Chris. The Chiefs leading rushers by week.
Yeah.
Week 1, Mahomes, 57 yards.
Right.
Week 2, Mahomes, 66 yards. Week 3, Pacheco with just 45. Week 4, Xavier Worthy with 38.
I'm going to play. I know Jacksonville's defense could stop the run. I know that. I'm going to play that this is a game the running back leads in rushing.
Okay.
All right.
Is it Pacheco or Kareem Hunt?
Yeah, I'll say Pacheco, and I don't think it's going to be anything crazy. I guess I'm just playing that Mahomes won't be able to scramble as much against this group. They'll see the Xavier Worthy reverses from last week and go, hey, we're ready for that. And even though I don't expect it to be some big stat at all, I'll go with the running back this week, that they do it. And you know what? Last week, they showed some signs of opening up in the running game a little bit here. And that's, again, where I get into, if they can just get into surgical, throwing the ball short, picking you apart, all of that. Oh, no, now you're worried about us picking you apart, and all the short passing games we're playing, man. Oh, no, they hit Xavier Worthy down the field. Uh-oh, all of that. Now we got to start worrying about playing coverage. I think we're getting close to the run game at least being a little more effective for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Wonder if the Chiefs are that team that, I know it's not all on Hunt and Pacheco, but if they made a low-cost running back move at the deadline,
Yeah,
I think like a pass-catching kind of guy.
Right, just another guy that can do some stuff in space. Because to me, Pacheco still doesn't look the same as he did before he hurt his leg last year. Kareem Hunt's good, but not special.
Right.
That's why they played the rookie, I think, from SMU a lot last week.
Rashard Smith,
right.
Former wide receiver.
Well, I think they were going, we need a little more juice here. We need somebody that, if he gets around the edge, he can actually go another 20 or 30 yards or something like that. And they don't have that at the running back position. So, yeah, I hear you. We'll see. When they get Rashee Rice back, we'll see where the offense goes from there. But, I don't disagree with your thought there about somebody in space at the running back position.
Don't think it'll cost much at all.
No, I don't think it will either. All right, we're done, huh? That's it.
That's a wrap.
All right, homies, that's it. We did it. Tuesday pod, Wednesday pod, in the books. Thursday, you know what's coming? Me and Florio. And you know what else is coming? I'm shitty in some of my picks right now. Man, my
last
best
week was
bets.
it felt like a lot of people were off last week.
Gosh, I think straight up I did okay, but just some of my best bets, I was not good. And you know what? I got to remember, too, September is just crazy. Teams are not at their best. They're not playing, hitting on all cylinders yet, and it's all over the place, but I'm going to get this shit straight. All right, everybody, you know where to find us. Subscribe, rate, review. Thursday pod, me and Florio, Picks Podcast. Check us out. Connor Rogers, as always. Oh, yeah.
There it is.
Always the man. Thanks for leading the charge here, man. Seriously.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Always
it.
a blast, dude.
All right, everybody.
Back
Be
next
good.
week.
Enjoy Thursday Night Football. Enjoy the week of games. We'll talk to you. Peace out. Yo, homies, it's time to watch some games. That's right. We're on to the NFL season here with Chris Simms Unbuttoned.
Hit subscribe to get our weekly picks, Sunday night recaps after every game, and much, much more.
Thanks for watching. Peace out, homies. Remember, subscribe. Peace out.